people.
Bad people. Anyway, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another season of Crusade Season 2. I almost got that. Almost. And as Saskia gets her dream of unicorns appearing within within the setting.
I'm a cyclops, technically, so shut the fuck up.
You know, that is a propaganda term created by the Tremere.
Valid.
True facts. Yes, we start the scene within the domain of Timorin, as Ulric has summoned a fairly aged Salubri from the streets of his domain to his palace Elysium, as it were, to his castle Elysium, so that he may show the appropriate hospitality and they may discuss matters of importance, as given the state of the various domains within the county of Odessa right now, it may be something worth mentioning. There are several things worth mentioning to this figure. And so it is that, yes, Fumushi, you have received a message from the prince via the Seneschal's officers, who is an Assamite vizier. And you have been summoned to this castle Elysium. You're expected to make your own way up, but it will be noted that preparations have been made for your arrival, so you should not expect any resistance, mortal or otherwise. You will, because the Castle Elysium exists within a gated community. You know, the pub is not normally accessible to most of the public, so normally, unless you broke in, you wouldn't actually be able to access it conventionally. But you are able to make your way through the literal gates that seal off this community, up to the top of a rather large mount, the hill upon which this fort rests, kind of surveying the land and the town above it. Looms over the whole place. It sits even above the town walls, and this is a walled town. Despite its size, it is actually fairly well fortified.
He makes his way very, very slowly. You know, he walks. His clothing is very odd and very outlandish for this place. He's wearing silk that is patterned with beautiful flowers. Though it definitely looks like it's been traveled in and worn. He taps as he goes in front of him with a cane, just tap 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 tap. Very obvious that the man is blind. He looks up, but his eyes are grayed over, so you can see the residual scars around the rims of his eyes, where there was very obviously some kind of fire or heat that caused the blindness. But he makes his way very slowly. Probably needing, you know what? He's been in the town for a few days, so he will have healed a number of. He will have quote unquote healed a number of people with his Eastern remedies. So he'll have someone who is basically guiding him. So he'll have a hand on a shoulder, if that makes sense, of just an ordinary person to show him to the gate.
Yes, you are a fairly approachable individual. And you make your way up to the gate, upon which you are asked for your name. Your compatriot, or rather your partner, your guide, is allowed to come with you. Make your way up the hill. As a walk, it takes you like it's a fairly long walk. It's 10 to 15 minutes. It's not it's a fairly large hill, and you're having to be guided. But once you get up there, you'll be allowed through the gates of the fort. At which point, The housekeeper, the steward, will see to you. Your partner will be separated from you, but they will be allowed into the building to another area of the palace to refresh themselves. And you'll be seen into the main, into the main plaza, but you don't really, obviously you don't see it. It feels spacious because you can feel the air, you can feel the airflow. Like it's a fairly spacey room. It's a very airy room. Which point, when you enter, the steward will announce you, and he'll be the one guiding you. You know, he'll guide you much like your normal human compatriot, your mortal compatriot.
Mm-hmm.
And the steward will announce your name to the Prince Ulric and to the Lady Irene, Famushi the Exorcist. And you probably hear the footsteps of two figures as the steward will bow, but will not leave the room.
Famushi's he's not big or imposing in any way. He's actually quite short and he's very, very thin. But he will kind of bob as he bows deeply. He doesn't necessarily bow in the right direction, but you get the distinct impression that he's bowing. I have a weird question. Was I summoned to meet the Prince of Edessa or to meet the Prince of Timuran? Or was I just told someone wishes to see you? AKA, do I know I'm dealing with kindred or do I not?
You do know you're dealing with the prince.
Okay, in that case, he will. He'll actually, yeah, no. In that case, he'll pop on his auspex so he can kind of sense the momentum of the air coming towards him. So
Yeah, it's kind of like being a scorpion. You're kind of able to react to your surroundings based on airflow because you have very high auspex.
He will bow in that case in the right direction, and he will say, "Many blessings of the evening be upon you, great lord, noble lady."
Many blessings upon you, fellow exorcist. It is a pleasure to meet one of my own. One of my own profession, I suppose you could say.
Irene will just kind of curtsy, won't say anything. Curtsy will not be as fluid as usual, but hey, it's a curtsy. She's standing. That is something.
The one that stands beside me is my child, Lady Irene Argiri, and a harpy of the neighbouring domain of Edessa.
Noble lady, it is as the sun must eventually flow to the moon, so too it is my gratitude for your presence this evening.
It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
This is an interesting city. When I left here and walked the path that I chose, there was nothing here, and now there is life. You are to be commended, Your Highness.
It was not only my actions that led to this place coming to be, but rather the many actions of those loyal to the dream.
Ah, yes. When it was that three great men sat and thought, how is it the world can be made better? And thus it was birthed a dream.
Now beleaguered by those that sought to tear it down.
A dream can never be entirely extinguished. Merely it is changed. Ultimately, as long as one possesses hope that it may yet spring again, so too shall it. It is simple. It is the truth. Everything will come and everything will go.
I very much agree. I called you here not only so that you could undergo the formalities of hospitality, as I must admit, as much as I rather not. I'm a bit of a stickler for ceremony these nights. Perhaps it's because I've had so little of it in reality. But also as one of your particular blood, there are issues of great relevance to you within this county.
I see.
Both good and bad. I'm great to say, mostly bad.
So it was that I had heard. That is why I am here. But he will open the third eye on his forehead so you can actually see the both of you.
Okay. Irene is trying really hard to do a proper curtsy, even though she is with penalties.
He very slowly raises his hands, and hey, Irene, he kind of walks over to you and he looks you up and down.
I mean, she's like used to people looking at her. You know, she's pretty.
Probably about the same size.
Yeah, probably.
He holds out a hand. How much ag are you still suffering?
She's suffering. Let's see. She healed 2 the last night. She healed 2 night prior. I'm also keeping track of that willpower expenditure. That. Oh, you only didn't spend willpower to heal more?
Oh, what?
So you can normally only heal 1 ag per night, but if you spend a willpower, you can heal more. But it still takes a lot of blood. But Ulric's herd is feeding you, so you don't really have to worry about that right now.
Yeah, then she would have spent the willpower, and just now I didn't spend a willpower, by the way.
Lies. I see it. It's in the chat.
No, that was... Read the fucking chat properly then. That was last night.
Oh, fair enough, yeah. That does, actually puts your willpower 1 willpower lower then. But I think you're willpower 5 right now. But yes, I think you're suffering from... If you've already spent 5 blood this night... I'll say, let's see, you spent 2 last night. You've probably healed 1 tonight, but not the other, because it does take a full night. So you're probably still suffering from...
-2.
No. Yes, -2. You're...
Yeah.
No, you've healed 3 now. You've healed 3 now.
I was on 7. So that would put me at 4. That's a -2.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm forgetting in cap. Yeah, she's at wounded.
Okay. My point is, Andariel or Famushi just walks towards you. Once again, he has his third eye open, so he can actually see you. And he holds out his hand, he says, "May I take the lady's hand for a moment?"
Of course.
I mean, who is Irene to not agree with her sire?
He very delicately takes your hand, and I can roll for hunting, but he closes all 3 of his eyes, and he holds your hand for a few moments. And there's a momentary glow from between his hands. And how many health levels did you have left to heal?
4.
That would take 12 blood points.
Yep, I'll just roll my actual hunting roll. So that would be 12. Yeah. Which dice roll are we in?
1 moment. We are in dice roller 3.
Cool. On a side note, did you know that fame lowers the difficulty of your hunting rolls by 1 per dot of fame?
It does.
Because it does. Yeah, read the thing in the. I didn't know it either, but it lowers your hunting roll difficulties by 1 per dot of fame.
Wow, Fame's like, wow, what the fuck? I love Fame now.
Yeah. So give me just a second. He has to do physical hunting because of his particular flaw. So
yeah,
you know
yeah,
what?
you can only physically hunt.
He will. You know what he's been doing? He's been beating up the bandits in Timoran. That's what he's been doing, and he's been giving them good tea afterwards to teach them about the lessons that they should have learned.
Yay.
Because he's a nice guy.
He's a merciful man, and
So that's nine.
well,
That's 9 blood plus his herd plus his plus the start. Yeah. So over the next few minutes, as he holds your hand, Irene, poof, all of your ag is gone.
Oof.
yeah,
You
over the
feel much better.
over the course of about what 10 seconds, those wounds they kind of evaporate. Her wounds aren't visible because Irene is wearing a dress, and her wounds is literally just a giant hole in her stomach and her chest. So it's not actually visible, but apart from like some burn scars that kind of reached around her collar a little bit, because that damage went really far. But the scarring recedes, your body heals, Irene, and sort of, and where the wounds once were, it's sort of like a soft kind of, they recede, but it's also like they recede to this sort of soft ambient glow.
I do hope that you will forgive me for my interceding. However, when I was faced with such a lovely young lady, I simply could not allow her to endure pain when it was unnecessary.
He bows very deeply.
If I have caused offense, I beg pardon.
If anything, you have sped up the process that I've been trying to arrange for the past few nights. It is quite all right.
Do you feel better, Miss Aguirres? Or Lady Aguirres, my apologies.
Irene has been kind of like her mouth has fallen open, sort of, and she's just kind of feeling her belly where there used to be just a ginormous hole, and she's touching like she's not underneath her dress, but like on top of her dress, she's just feeling through the fabric, like the skin that's there. That is. Thank you.
You are very welcome. I believe if it is within the ability of one to solve and to take pain, then one is duty bound to do so.
How can I repay you?
Over the next night, when it is the next time you smile, that I may possess that smile, and that is payment.
I really no. You must. I cannot accept such a gift freely, please.
What, do you want us to remake the wound? Ulric smirks.
There must be something that I can do.
There is a family. The father led me here. His children had the fever, the crimson fever, the scarlet fever. I cured them, but they are still very poor. If you would see to their comfort or their food some small benefice, I will happily consider the debt repaid in full.
Of course. I will make sure that they will get everything that they need.
Many blessings then, and many thanks.
And Irene will curtsy again. This time a very fluent curtsy. Yes. She's very used to this. God damn it, she has the etiquette specialty to prove it.
Is her etiquette specialty in curtsying?
Courtly manners, yes indeed.
Boom.
But yes, I must also apologize to you, Prince of Timuran, that I have been in your domain without presenting myself. However, I am led to understand that even based upon your noble blood, that presentation for my kind is difficult.
It has grown increasingly infrequent these nights, yes. Although there is one of your kind among us here, an elder in fact, a refugee from Edessa. The usurpers have entrenched themselves there, I believe. The warriors were engaged in an internecine conflict with them for quite some time.
I'm sorry to hear that it must always come down to blood, but it must always come down to blood.
This is not a war you started. You have my sympathy. And my hospitality in regards to this domain. I am well versed in the services and struggles you have provided to both humanity and to our kind.
Ultimately, I understand the position that you place yourself in, noble lord. I understand the path that you've walked to this moment in time. It is understandable that you must play the game and don the mask. It is also understandable that we represent something that the usurpers fear, because we are the living incarnation or the unliving incarnation of their own theft. So I would not wish to place your domain in jeopardy by remaining within its boundaries.
If you do not wish to stay in Timuran, I would offer you hospitality in Edessa. You could stay in my domain if you wish.
My grandsire is the seneschal of Edessa. While the Salubri are no longer recognized there as a clan, I can vouch for you from my own position.
It is interesting. We have so long, so many years. They trace themselves out like a river, and yet so quickly we forget when it is that we are willing to forget.
I find our kind has always prized pragmatism and convenience over ideology and philosophy.
I contemplate. Is that a weakness or is that a strength?
I remember a time when I had to be very pragmatic. Back when I was the Baron of Edessa under a Nosferatu elder. But it is not something I ever found much solace in.
No.
When given the opportunity to express who I genuinely wanted to be, well, that was when I was most whole. It wasn't always easy, and I've brushed with final death more than a few times, and, well, being a statesman does mean, as you say, I have to put on the mask, but it is why I prize the dream, because it does, in many ways, prize ideology over simple pragmatism and convenience. Tools largely more for self-service than anything else. Or rather, that is what they have become in these nights.
Patriarch Michael attempted, in his own way, to follow in the steps that were laid down by my clan founder. He attempted to find his inner peace. I hope before his final death that he found some semblance of that peace.
I was going to roll manipulation subterfuge because he knows he didn't. Or rather, he knows he did, but also not because of the way he went.
Okay. I actually have a really good pool of empathy, I think, on this. Oh, he's got a pretty good pool.
Yeah, let me double check Ulric's pool, because Ulric's pool for subterfuge is actually hilariously high.
I need to buy that fucking combo discipline that makes lying to me difficulty 8.
Oh, Aura of Inescapable Truth, is that one? Well, that's why people are unable to lie to you.
No, it's the watchful glare or something like that. It's warrior. It's general any Valorant 2, Auspex 2, and it just makes lying to difficulty 8.
God damn it. Don't do this to me. I'm trying to
I only have one success, so chances are you lie to him and he'll just bob along happily.
I am not close enough via my computer to roll.
And I am having issues with the freeforms for some reason.
Really?
Apparently having issues.
I mean, let's just move on. I'm happy to say he doesn't get it.
I'll have him roll. I think I know it's either 9 or 10. I think it's actually 10 though. I think he's actually maxed on this.
And I
Oh, he only gets 2 successes, so there you go.
let me try and see that as well. Because why the fuck not?
Okay.
Since I'm doing it on my phone.
He got no 10s, so no specialty.
I don't know my dice pool, so I'll just take 5. That makes sense. Probably more. Probably 6, but damn you once. I only got 1 success.
Yeah, well, Ulric is Ulric just says, I can only hope that is the case. But it does actually bring me to a matter of importance for you, Exorcist. Very dangerous infernalist, causing a spree of more to unveil themselves. One known as Mary the Black, a Methuselah of significant power, has been operating within this county for some time, particularly within the boundaries of Odessa. She appears to be seeking certain clay tablets that pertain to her personal history and seem to serve as some either sympathetic link to her, component in whatever blasphemous ritual she's attempting to perform, or both.
It is interesting how, when it is in the time of need, those whom have spent their own life, their nights, since time dawned in the second city bright, neath the moon, that we are forgotten, only to now once again be required, summoned from obscurity, when it is that They require those to fight back what is the true darkness.
Something, sadly, it seems Odessa has been slow to mobilize on.
My time to roll subterfuge.
Oh, my time to roll empathy. Hooray!
The third eye just kind of looks at you. That's the great thing about being a celebrity. You can just say, the third eye just stares at you.
Oh, he's closed it now, for the record.
Aww.
Give me a moment to
Wow,
find
I
the
only
dice.
get one success again. Tonight is the night of 1 successes.
Don't worry, Irene will probably fail.
Probably.
It's fine. I got like the 9 successes on the blood just to look fancy. That's
Yeah.
the only reason I rolled it, was to basically go, here is a cool power. Boom!
Look at my awesome. Behold.
My fucking form won't load. God damn it.
No one's, well, mine won't either. I just happen to know my dice pool for that particular one.
Well, I believe I know mine as well. 2 successes. Yay!
Yeah, he doesn't see through you. So he's like,
Yeah.
hmm.
But yes.
This is some nice mosaic I'm standing on.
Oh yeah. No,
Oh,
that's
God.
that's on the ceiling. And yeah, let's just say it's unveiled because obviously.
He's also
Yeah.
blind, so he can't see your mosaic smut. It's fine, don't worry about it.
Yay!
God, no. This
In
also
all
not smart.
fairness, the subterfuge is more for Ulric. Like.
But yes, Ulric also go. There is another matter. Another of the warrior caste, an elder of your clan, is attempting to claim praxis alongside a Ventru and another figure in Odessa.
Whom is the third figure?
He gives a smile. Irene, you get the very definite impression he knows who it is. How does Irene look?
Do you want me to roll subterfuge again to like keep a neutral face? Because
Nah, look sketch. It's fine.
No.
Do it.
Do it. Do it. Give in to your anger.
Give in to your curiosity flaw.
I don't have that.
I mean, you've always had that.
I was going to say it's a Sasuke character. They're inbuilt.
Yeah.
There, 3 successes.
I know nothing. I'm from Barcelona. All right.
Anyone who gets that reference is good.
Hey, everybody is great at lying, but terrible at empathy today. So Ulric just goes. It hasn't been defined by the court yet, at least of Odessa. They have very strong suspicions. I agree with them. When the new princedom took hold, several Primogen departed from the court. One of these was the Ventru Herman. Another was, well, the Salubri Primogen Tabrith. And the final one was the Bruja Primogen. I believe his name was Al Taib. All of these elders have been slighted by the new court in some way. It wouldn't surprise me if he was the third. He lost a rather powerful ancestor of his clan to the Ventru sheriff, who at the time did not possess the right of destruction. But the issue was overlooked. I believe he did not take kindly to it. His child, rather, this ancillous child still remains within the domain. Fighting back quite hard against this this praxis. So Clan Bruja does find itself in quite an interesting divide, but a rather sad one as well. For my part, I have sent my Scourge down to assist in fending off this praxis, but if it could be ended peacefully, I'd much rather that. There are not many of your clan left, frankly. We can ill afford another lost elder, even if he is justified in his actions.
Hmm. May I tell you something, mighty Prince of Timuran, that I learned in the East, from scholars and from those who whisper forgotten truths?
By all means.
He goes in very, very close, and he will actually whisper in Ulric's ear, and he will say, actually, I'm gonna clarify this. So basically, for Moshi or Arnael, whichever you prefer to call him, he spent the last 200 years hanging out with the Watcher cast, basically being like, "Hey guys, hey Arnael, how's it going?" As he basically did what they do, and watched and fought infernalists, and did all that nasty good stuff. So I mean, I'm curious, would they like over the very long period of time, is it okay for him to know the pseudo prophecy that they've come up with about, we're not dead yet, Jim?
Let me check the watches real quick. Because I'm not sure if they know if they didn't, but I think they actually do. Let me double check.
Oh, they had a vision about the return of the dragon, and they interpreted that to mean Ba. Because they've got that really funky little kind of see the future thing going on.
Yeah, I'm just double checking. Yeah, I think they are aware to some extent.
He leans in and he will say, "If you may find me, my clan brother, we both share the blood of Samael that runs through our veins. I will try to bring him around to peace. I am one of the few individuals whom he may listen to. And I have news that may well spark him, that may well give him something that he lacks, which is hope. The dragon is not dead, but merely sleeping, and our master will come again."
Ulric's expression is very thoughtful. He's clearly processing this particular claim. He'll just straighten up again. He'll just kind of nod to you. He won't respond to it with words. Well then. If nothing else, I am glad you have made it here safely. Do be warned if you do journey to Odessa. As I said, the usurpers have entrenched themselves there. And the conflict between your clan and theirs is still strong, if in many ways hidden from view, as the usurpers very much prefer it. Do be careful.
Ultimately, Lady Irene this evening was in pain. I took away that pain. That is all I seek to do. I have no issue with these individuals. They have walked their path, Prince Ulric, and their path has led them to dark deeds and darker places. They have killed peaceful men. They have drunk of their blood, and they have taken unto them their souls. Men who wish nothing but to see a brighter world, wherein people could live free of maladies that twist the mind, that alter the senses. They will be judged for their actions in due time. Their monstrous deeds will be the chains that drag their soul down. I will not let hatred cloud my heart on the matter. If they attempt to strike me down, or those whom I care for, I am a warrior of Samael. I will strike them with the full force and the might that has been given to me. But I will not attack them. I am not a butcher. I live by a code. Simple.
Then I wish you all the fortune I can in your endeavours.
If it is agreeable, Miss Irene, I did not come to this city alone. Two of my brothers came with me. Or rather, they will be here soon. If your offer will stand, we would wish nothing more than a room within your home, and that will do us for now.
Of course. You can
Thank you.
consider my home yours. For as
He
long as you
smiles.
need.
He smiles very gently at Irene. Like there's an almost serenity to the smile as he says,
It is interesting how it is that one whom is born into this world, or reborn again, in shadow, yet has the brightest light that shines from them.
I thank you for your compliment, although I am afraid I am unworthy of your words.
Worth is merited by deed. And I would ask, a man whom has seen the abyss to a man whom has seen the abyss, sorry, not Baron Prince, Prince Ulric, is she worthy of the compliment?
I'm proud to say that she is.
Oftentimes we cannot see the best qualities within ourselves. It is for others to see them.
Look at that interesting floor. It is so interesting.
That's a really nice floor, but really you should look up where the mosaic is.
Nope, 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 nope.
Damn it.
If you go to Odessa, there is something else I would like to warn you about. Abram's Fountain. You may have heard of it. It's not the fountain itself that is dangerous. But there's a person who stays there. A woman dressed in white. It would be wise to avoid her.
Why?
Because as bright as the shadows can be, darkness can hide in the light.
Weird question. Is Irene wearing that particular cross?
Yes, she always wears that cross.
Oh yeah, you feel a bit weird around her, but you probably don't feel directly repulsed just because you're so high on your particular road.
I was going to say, he is going to reach out, because my road is linked to the road of heaven, so he's going to just basically touch it to see what happens.
I don't think you'd be affected per se unless it was directly used against you, because you're very high on your road and it is linked to the road of heaven. And humanitas, and chivalry.
All of the good roads.
All of the not evil roads.
He will say, do you know why this has power, Lady Irene?
Because God has chosen.
No, and yes. It is because someone whom possessed great faith believed so strongly in his innermost self that this was powerful, that this could ward away evil. And from that faith, he left it upon this thing. He gave breath into it. Because he believed, so too does a vestige of the belief remain. That is the nature of these things. So you are right. Darkness can hide in the light, but when one truly understands darkness, you can always see its stain.
Well, let's just say that I may have misjudged this individual.
I will take your advice, but I thank you for it. He will bow very deeply. He will say, with your permission, in that case, I will go and gather my few belongings.
Good evening, Famoshi. Wish you luck in your endeavors. And have hope my child will treat you well. He'll just kind of put a hand on her shoulder.
To you, Prince Ulric, and to you, Lady Irene, Fomoshe is not a name. It is a title. It means he who, well, if you translate it literally, it means he whom is the guardian of the soul. But I would invite you to please use my actual name, which is Andurael, blooded by the code of Samael. I am your humble servant.
I thought it was Aranile.
Oh, it is. Irene. My apologies. I mixed up my own name. I'm cool like that, kids.
So many cool names I've not to do with them. Just juggling words.
No, it's because I fucking play demon. Do you know how many demon names end in IL? The answer
Most
is
of them.
most of them.
Yeah. The answer is most of them. As you wish, Aranile. I wish you a good evening and a safe journey.
He bows very deeply, both first to Irene and then to the prince. He will then, once again, before he leaves, you'll notice he becomes much smaller in the sense that obviously he hunches over a bit and he starts tapping with his stick as he leaves the room.
Yeah, and the steward collects your mortal compatriot, and you're able to leave, and you'll begin arranging for your journey to Odessa. And I think that's where we can end the scene. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you all for just watching. We'll see you all next time. Goodbye.